Good morning. Coming from my life essential job, I've been out here since everything started, and uh, fortunately for me, I'm able to earn an honest day's wages. Some days, I don't want to be out here, but it is what it is. Uh, I I'm sitting out here waiting on a client. I subcontract for infrastructure companies. Like anybody that does infrastructure, I subcontract for. So gas, electric, whatever it may be, anything that deals with infrastructure, um, I subcontract for. So um, with that being said, I'm just sitting here waiting on a client now, and I just hamster wheels start going because it's a hurry up and wait game right now. Um, and I just start thinking on reflecting on my life and how it's been up to this point, and I'm just sitting back and I'm thinking, um, uh, you know, I never would have thought, coming from where I come from, I could love a woman beyond human understanding. So what I mean by this, um, I kind of understand why women stay in some of the worst kinds of relationships. I'm sorry. I mean, it can be abusive. It can be abusive on many different levels. It could be mentally, physically, emotionally. It's just, it could be all three. And women stay. And, and I always found that to be interesting. Why do they stay? And and recently for me, um, I kinda got a taste of that by by being with somebody and loving them beyond human understanding. So let me say this though. By no means is it a stretch. Again, I always touch on this. Was I perfect in a relationship? None whatsoever. Committed all kinds of transgressions. You understand? I just wasn't physically abusive, nor was I verbally abusive. But mentally, yes, because I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? I wasn't living right as they partner, so to speak. And don't get me wrong, there was transgressions on both sides, but I'm owning my transgressions. I'm going to own my part of this debacle. Um, but I'm gonna say this, ladies. Um, when you're dealing with a man, understand this. Most of us don't have reference points on how to properly love a woman. We make it up as we go. We do not have, again, we do not have a reference point on how to properly love a woman. A lot of times with us, see, men are very physical, whereas though women are very emotional. And that's the great divide. That's the great divide. That's what separates man and woman. Those two things, basically. Some men are in tune with that side. Most aren't. They can be emotional, you know. But for the most part, somebody like me, I've always, it's always the physical aspect. It's always, it was always the eye that caught me, and then initial attraction is physical, and then you go forward from there, and then once you get to meet the person, you find out what it is that attracts you to them even more. So, well, I say that to say this: um, we don't allow ourselves, when we in relationships, to be submissive, because as a man we feel like we always gotta have this mask on, whereas though we can't allow the woman to take lead and we follow. You understand? We're taught a man has to be a man, all the time. Oh, pause. Here comes the client. Okay, so what I was saying was, I was talking. Client came. I had to take a little break, see what he wanted to do. But what I was saying was, you know, the, being submissive towards a woman, is okay. It's okay to be submissive. It's okay to let her follow her lead sometimes, because at the end of the day, a woman will still, she still will let you be the man. You understand? And she still will, let you carry her in the direction that you go. But a lot of times, in our relationships, we get into them with, it's the physical attraction, and we don't learn how to we don't learn how to understand. There's a lack of understanding, and there's a greater lack of communication. Whereas though, you got to learn to communicate with people, and depending on a person and how they are, everybody is different in that manner. You know what I mean? So you got to learn how to communicate with a person, and that's how you keep a lot of the bullshit to a minimum. Because we do a lot of things, and we don't communicate with the person that we dealing with, and that's how a lot of the misunderstandings come about. Because you may decide to do something and didn't communicate with them, and they like, damn, why you ain't tell me you was so on and so forth. And that's how we run into those situations, whereas though, we get into these fruitless arguments over nonsense, because there was a lack of communication within the relationship. We got to have a great communication skill set when it comes to dealing with a relationship. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that's the point where we falter, and we lose each other. You know what I mean? And here's a crazy thing. Sometimes love is not enough to carry a relationship beyond time, if that makes sense. Sometimes the love, you can be so in love, it's just not enough, because you're lacking in other areas where it is imperative you have those skill sets. You know what I mean? Without communication and things of that nature, sometimes we don't trust. We're not trusting the person enough, because you haven't communicated to them that you're trustworthy. You understand? And that can drive a wedge within a relationship. You know what I mean? And I'm just coming off the top again. I'm just in thought, just talking about a lot of my flaws, a lot. You know, so I'm just speaking in terms of me and where I was flawed and where I wanted to identify those flaws and again address them, so those are no longer an issue. So when I move forward into whatever relationship, when I'm ready, they're addressed and they're no longer an issue. You know what I mean? Man, I'm telling you right now, if somebody keep telling you, hey, something about you, you know what I mean? Then it's something like, you ever hear somebody say, yo, they telling you something, then you be like, man, somebody told me that before. Well, you should take heed, because people are seeing something that you're not seeing. So you gotta it's not always that person. You know, like they tripping. Hey, what are they talking about? Obviously other people are seeing something in you, and you need to address it. You know what I mean? You need to say, hey, well, maybe I need to change that about me. You know what I mean? Because not all the time it's the woman. You know what I mean? And vice versa. Women, it's the same way. A lot of y'all carry the baggage from a previous relationship into your old relationship, and you don't give the new relationship a 100% chance to progress the way it needs to, because you're so sheltered and you're guarded by whatever it is you dealt with prior. You understand? And I'm gonna tell you how to get over that. When you see red flags, then you address it. Don't allow those red flags. Don't allow to see those things through. Like, oh, wait a minute, I've been here before, and then you just sit back and wait to see what transpires next. The best thing you can do, catch it, address it, and let them know, hey, look, I've been in this little situation before, and this is how it ended. I need you to clean that part up. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't progress into exactly where you want the last relationship. So that's important. Address it, catch it, address it. And if they don't change, then you know that's not for you. You know what I mean? A man, when he's really into you, he's gonna do whatever he can really to make you happy. You understand? So and you'll see the light bulb go off in his head when you address it and he understands it right and properly. He's gonna look and say, oh, okay, right, I see what you're saying. All right, I ain't know. And he gonna apologize. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't, and it may be embedded in him, so you might have to give him time to get that flaw out, or that inconsistency away from him, that he doesn't have that issue any longer. But let me say this, I'm about to get back to work. I just had a random thought, and you know how I do, I just talk. So that being said, I want to say to y'all, good morning. If you're dealing with personal issues within your relationship, or just personal issues within your life, address them. Address them with your partner. Address them with your God. You know what I mean? Or address them with whatever person you feel like you're most comfortable with. You know what I mean? Communication. Let people know how you feel. You're not the only one. There's somebody with the same story or similar story to yours, and you can build from each other. You know what I mean? And those build bonds. You know, those make relationships stronger because y'all have something relatable to. So, with that being said, man, I wanna say this. May God keep y'all protected and in His well-crafted plans. You understand? We living in a difficult time right now. You know what I mean? And it may just get worse before it get better. But hold on. You know what I mean? Hold on. I know it's bad, but there's always, remember this, it's always somebody in a worse situation. Trust me, it's always somebody in a worse situation. And that's how you gotta view your life at this point. You know what I mean? Because one thing God won't do is burden you with nothing you can't handle. Look at all the things that brought you through to that point. How did you get there? Some of y'all gonna say, I don't even know how I even made it this far. You know what I mean? Don't matter. Sometimes you just going through life and you making it up as you go. You know what I mean? You figuring it out and don't even realize you know that you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I bid y'all farewell. Have a good day. Tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you love them randomly. You understand? If you love somebody, call them up. Call them up and just say, yo, I want to tell you I love you. You understand? You know, we go through life and we don't tell enough people we love them. You know what I mean? Whether it's a man, you as a man telling another man, your friend, your homie, your dad, your whatever, tell them. You know what I'm saying? Because once your wick burn out, that's it. Once a wick burn out, that's it. And you're gonna regret not telling somebody you love them. You understand? So with that being said, again, I'm out of here. I appreciate y'all.